Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another season of the UK and Ireland Monday Night Skippys live here on RaceSpotTV in support of the Calm Zone, the campaign against living miserably. Tonight we are racing for 14 laps around Okayama International Circuit here in Japan, and we've got another 12 race season ahead of us with a bunch of big drafting tracks here, so another spectacular season waiting for us. We're currently here in qualifying in the first round of the season, and Leus just now put his car on provisional pole position with a 142.8. We got 41 drivers signed up to take on this racetrack here today. 11 corners, 2.31 miles long, and it's one of the first tracks you encounter here on iRacing, so I think this is a place that most of the drivers will know fairly well. Our reigning champion is Benny Simonson, and he is currently in 4th position. Here you have the full schedule as well. We start off here at Okayama, then we head to Road Atlanta, another Japanese track in Suzuka, then to Brazil for Interlagos, back to America for Watkins Glen and Mid-Ohio, then we head to Oran Park, Imola, Mount Panorama Bathurst, the brand new Hockenheim Ring, and we head back to America for Sonoma, and then we end at the streets of Long Beach. So it's a lot of quick, fast tracks here this season, not really any small tracks, and then we end on another street circuit like we did last season, and that ended up being super spectacular with a bit of a parking lot in the hairpin, but don't think we'll be seeing much of that here today. Still in qualifying here, got about another minute for the drivers to complete their laps, and I believe there are a couple of cars still on track. Andrew Baranowski coming through the last couple of corners to complete his final lap, and then Stefan Nobis is on his second lap, so that's all that he'll be able to do. Clark Williams is only on his first lap so far, only made it about half a lap so far, so see if he can make it. The car on the screen here though is pulling over to quit his qualifying effort, so we'll have to see. Baranowski moves up into 16th though, and we got Stefan Nobis out on a lap here as well. See if he will be able to improve here in the last few seconds. He will come to the line, and he will not improve, I don't think so. He will stay in P number 24. Oh, he's actually going to improve by a few 1,000s there, so he's going to move up to 23rd, just ahead of Dave Kirkman. Here is our final qualifier out on the track. That would be Ray Peasley. No, that's actually Clark Williams coming out of the final corner here to the finish line. That is Ray Peasley. They look so similar, those two cars. Across the line, no improvements though, so he will be P number 30, and that is it for qualifying. So let's go through the starting grid. Our reigning champion Benny Simonson puts it on pole here in the first round of the season, ahead of Adam Miles in 2nd, with Leus in 3rd, Simon Edwards in 4th, Anthony P.M. Jones in 5th, and George Mattock in P number 6, with Ewan Pattinson in 7th, Sam T. Spinell in 8th, Nathan Wade in 9th, and Kevin Budgeon rounding out the top 10. Nicholas Von Roberts is in 11th, Jack Hobbs in 12th, Mark Langford 13th, Daniel Tufts in 14th, Dave M. Dowson in 15th, Andrew Baranowski 16th, Andrew S. Leach in 17th, Christopher Miles in 18th, Robert Plumley in 19th, and Seth Brown rounding out the top 20. The rest of the grid will be up on your screen, and like I said earlier, we have 41 cars signed up for this event, and I believe most of them will be here on the grid as well, so it's a massive grid today, and the top 19 cars have qualified within a second here. Actually, the top 17, the last two there, were just outside the 1 second bracket, so even though the lap is almost 2 minutes, it's still very, very tight for these guys, and a ton of overtaking opportunities as well. I think we're going to see some dives into turn number 1, and then coming up over the hill down into the first of the 3 hairpins, I believe. We're going to see some spectacular dives, especially towards the end of the race, but perfect way to start out the season here for our reigning champion Benny Simonson, putting it on pole position. Still got another couple of cars here waiting to grid until we get ready, so let's see, they fill up the whole straightaway here. Here we go, red lights are on, and we are racing at Okayama. It's a good getaway here for our poster. A great launch as well for Anthony P.M. Jones. There's some free wide further back with people not getting away. perfectly, but I think with single file at least through the top 10 there's a bit of a move being made there for that would be P number 10. That's Kevin Budge and Nicholas Von Roberts going side by side. Von Roberts takes that position away, but they're spreading out single file as well now, so all the way through the top 25 there's some moves being made in the back there around Clark Williams. I believe that would be further up here though, still single file coming around the first 180 degree bend, now way up the hill here, and then back down the other side there's a car going sideways. That would be Mark Van Dalen, I believe, losing a position, getting it back from Clark Williams. Now on board here, coming down the hill just in front of the 85 machine, that's Lee Hughes here. And looking up the inside as well, they're side by side. Simonson holds on to that lead from Adam Miles. Now Lee Hughes still back in third. They're side by side for P number 6 and 7. Pattinson getting that from George Mattock. So gaining one position early here as well. Very, very important to get as much as you can. There are 3 wide further back in the field. Oh, we got a car serving a slowdown here. Even Pattinson, he must have gone a little bit too high over one of the curbs. He has to pull off to the side, and that's going to drop him down from 6th position all the way down to P11. So he didn't lose as much as I thought he would, but still 4 or 5 positions lost here as Jack Hobbs comes through as well. But these hairpins, if you get a little bit too much curb, you're going to get a slowdown instantly. They're not giving you a lot here at this track of Okayama, but he gets it back there around the outside Pattinson, so he's going to get back into P11. But he will definitely have his work cut out for him, and not the way you want to start out a season. Still Benny Simonson leading the way though. Behind here is Lee Hughes having a look at Miles, but he's going to stay in line. Wasn't quite close enough. Seeing if they're going to get back to this thing that they normally do at the front here, where they work together to try and pull away, or if they're going to race each other really hard. Now Tufts and Baranowski going at it as well for 13th and 14th. Baranowski giving that position back to Tufts, so he's going to hold on to that. But now coming through the Senna S's here, down into the first of the hairpins, called Atwood Curve, if I'm not mistaken. It's not Senna S's, it's the Moss S's. I'm getting those mixed up, sorry about that. Coming back up the hill, you can see just how defensive they're going here. Coming down into the hairpin, very innovatively named hairpin. Now Miles looking to the outside. Is Hughes going to be close to making a move there? He will not. Simonson has a bit of a lockup though. Now Miles is going to get the crossover, but then Simonson has the inside coming down into Revolver and Piper. Lee Hughes is looking for an opening. They're wide over the curb there. He's not going to do anything just yet. Now still single file all the way down to P31 before we have a bit of a gap forming. So everyone keeping up here on coming to the end of lap number 2. Still Simonson from Miles and Lee Hughes. They're all over each other. They're looking for openings left, right and center. Coming now down towards the final couple of corners. Mike Knight's corner and then into last corner, which is the final corner of the track. Makes a bit more sense than it actually should. Here they come. That's a great exit from Simonson. Adam Miles goes a little bit too wide. That's going to hurt his momentum. Going to give Lee Hughes a little bit of a chance, but still Miles has the draft from Simonson as we have Andrew Baranowski in the pit lane here. Not really sure what's happened there because that car does not look damaged. A little bit of contact could have been enough for him to have to go in there though for a spare car, but here we go. P5 and 6 are all over each other. Mattock looking at PM Jones, who had a bit of a wiggle coming into turn number 1 there. He gets a bit wide there though, Mattock. That's going to cost him his momentum. Now we're on board here with Simon Edwards. No, this is actually way further back. Sorry about that. This is Sam T. Spinell making a move on Mattock, and he's going to put it up into P number 6. That car looked very similar to Edwards' car, but up into 6th position now onto the back of PM Jones here. See what they can do. They're single file ahead. Here comes Adam Miles making a move on Benny Simonson for the lead. He's going to be outside in the hairpin again. Edwards making a move on the outside of Lee Hughes as well, but he will back out. So they will be single file back. There's a bit of a lockup again from Simonson. This time Miles will hold the overlap though, so he's got the inside coming into Revolver down through Piper. Simonson will have the overspeed being on the outside, but will it be enough? He will keep it on the curb, no grass there whatsoever, so now he's going to get back into the lead. Miles looking up the inside again, coming into Redman, side by side behind again as well. Edwards looking to the outside of Lee Hughes. Now he's going to have the inside coming into Hobbs, so that will possibly be P3 there for Simon Edwards, but Lee Hughes will hold it around the 180 degree corner. Now Double inside for Simon Edwards, and that will eventually give him that position. It let the front two get a little bit of a gap, but I'm pretty sure that gap is going to come right back down to zero as soon as they get on the straightaway. Edwards goes wide in the gravel. That's going to give Lee Hughes the inside line coming down into corner number 1. Adam Miles right on the back of Simonson as well, but he's not going to do anything. Lee Hughes makes a dive to the inside there, and he will be clear of Simon Edwards. PM Jones will be there as well, but he will not make a move, I don't think. No, Edwards is going to be clear and closes the door on him both outside and in. Coming through Williams here, the second corner, now back through the Moss S's down towards the 180 degree Atwood curve, coming back up the hill again. That gap has opened up a little bit more now with the Edwards and Hughes battling it out, but I don't think they will be able to hold that for too long. Further back in the field, we're in our second group. That's Tufts, Langford, Dowson, Stephen Nobis and Robert Plumley battling from 13th on back to 17th. Coming up the hill here, Tufts is going defensive, Langford is looking up the inside. He's got Dowson right on his tail. We're on board here with Stephen Nobis further back in that field. Or in that pack, sorry. Here comes Dowson looking to the outside of Langford. He's going to go way up the inside. Is he going to be able to pass Tufts? He will do it through the hairpin, but then coming through the double left-hander, he will have the inside. No, he's actually going to let it go. He's going to give that position up to Langford. Probably does not want to lose more speed and time than necessary to the guys ahead, as they are starting to pull away. The gap up to Budgeon in 12th is up to 3 seconds almost, so they're losing out big time here going at it, as Plumley comes up the inside of Dowson here to get back up into P16, but now Dowson has the inside for 3 straight corners. Looks like he's going to be able to get that position back. He's still got to run on the outside there, Plumley, but I think he's going to have to give it up here. He's going to hold it around the first right-hander. They're going to be side by side coming onto the start fringe straight as well. There's a bit of a lock up and there's contact, and that's going to send Robert Plumley backwards out into the gravel, and he will be out of this race. He retires that car right away. That contact was too much. And here they go now, 2 by 2, almost 3 wide into corner number 1. There's a bit of a lock up there on the inside. This will be Seth Brown, Tony Stack, Christopher Miles going at it from 16th all the way back to 23rd in this group. They're all over each other here. Stack on the inside now, getting that position back from Seth Brown. Kirkman behind, looking to find an opening, as is Christopher Miles. Here we get a replay. That's Plumley, yeah, just a little bit too wide there on the inside. Contact with Plumley, who gets sent into the gravel, and he decides to retire straight away. Now Brown back up the inside here of Tony Stack, as we have a smoking car ahead. Who would that be? That looks that's George Mattock. George Mattock has blown an engine and he is dropping back through the order. He was up near the front running, and he possibly will have just downshifted it too quickly or something. I'm not really sure, but his engine is suffering badly as he is falling down the order here in his number 17. He's in 15th at the moment, trying to make it to the pits to get his spare car, but he will be well out of the top 20 as he almost gets ran over there by Tony Stack, and they're all coming through here, almost running him over. Great job by everybody to avoid him though, but that's a lot of cars going through. He's down to 23rd now, and he might even drop out of the top 30 before he can get back out on track in a new car. He definitely will. So he will be one of the last cars running. That's very unfortunate, as we have some more contact here. That's Dowson and Seth Brown. But it looks like Brown will hold on to that position for now. That's actually behind those guys. That's Whiteridge and John Edwards making contact. Whiteridge coming through there. Clark Williams closing up right behind, as well as Stack, Kirkman, Brown, Dowson, Miles and Hansen keeps going at it in front of him. Back at the sharp end though, it's still Benny Simmons and Adam Miles and Lee Hughes going at it, and they have not been able to open up that gap to the cars behind. Lee Hughes has actually managed to pull almost, well, just over half a second to Simon Edwards, but they're still within touching distance here as Nicholas Von Roberts makes a move on Simon Edwards, and that will definitely help the front three. Lee Hughes pulling out of the draft right away, does not want to get involved. Miles is in behind Simmons and now takes a dive to the outside. Going to use the overspeed he can get from the draft now. Simonson gets back very, very close to him. He has the inside through the hairpin. Will he be able to get clear though? I'm not too sure he will. Miles is going to have the inside for the double left-hander here. I'm going to push out a little bit, but give enough room to Simonson to still be there. And Simonson has the overspeed coming with the wider line, so he's going to be clear once again. Here comes Lee Hughes now. He's going to make a look. He will. He's going to bail out as Miles makes the same move on Benny Simonson, but he will not be close enough. and all of a sudden that half a second plus gap that he had down to Simon Edwards there, Lee is gone. 2-3 corners side by side, and you lose all that time that you gained over the last few laps. So it's back to a 9-car train here at the front, from Benny Simonsen in the lead down to Nathan Wade in 9th position. Then there is about a 1.5 second gap down to Jack Hobbs and Kevin Budge, and you can see they're in the background. Hobbs goes a little bit into the gravel, and there's a contact behind sideways for Daniel Tufts. He managed to collect it though. He's going to lose positions to Stefan Nobis and Mark Langford, but I think he did that on his own because he had a bit of a gap to the car behind, so he did that all by himself. Lost the car, and now the whole train behind him there from Seth Brown and back is getting closer. Stefan Nobis, sorry. Mark Langford catching up to him here. So a couple of positions we have to see here. He comes in through the final corner, goes up on the curb and just loses the rear end. Thankfully nobody behind him runs him over. Great job there to save it and keep on going straight. He's going to lose that momentum for Nobis and Langford, but he's going to still be in contact with them, and then Kirkman and Stack catching up behind. Here comes Adam Miles again, making another move, coming down towards the hairpin. Lee Hughes is there as well, but he will not get involved and make it 3 wide. Simonsen has the inside. He's going to get back into the lead once again. Now Miles with the inside. Will he be able to get clear this time? He will not. Simonsen has the overspeed on the outside, uses as much of the track as he can. He's going to have the overspeed coming out of Piper once more, and he will be clear. Here comes Lee Hughes now. He's going to look up the inside of Adam Miles. He's going to be way up the inside, coming into Redmond. Then up into Hobbs is going to be advantage for Miles, who will be back on the inside. Then Simon Edwards is right there looking for whoever is going to get the momentum. See where he can go to get up into 3rd place. Now looking back from Simonsen here, and it looks like Lee Hughes will actually get through there around the outside. Coming down into Mike Knight corner, and he will take 2nd position as Chris Hansen has had a spin, and he will drop way down the order. He's down to 30th position for now as Alan Patterson comes through here, as we get a replay of that here. And all by himself he loses the car, and then he gets ran into from behind by a couple of cars. That's very unfortunate. I believe that might have been Aaron D. Taylor and Mark Van Dalen, a couple of the cars that drove into the side of him. But a little bit too hot there on the hairpin curb, and ends up losing the rear end, and then there's nothing that the cars behind can do, unfortunately, as he's still dropping back through the order here as he's in pit lane. Now Lee Hughes all over the back of Benny Simonsen with Adam Miles right behind him, and this 9-car train is now nose to tail all the way back to Nathan Wade, coming back up the hill over the crest, now down the hill towards hairpin. Looking to the outside is Lee Hughes. What will Adam Miles do? Will he make it out there as well and possibly make it 3? But he's looking to the middle, but there is no gap there, so he'll have to stay behind. Simonsen gets the lead back here on the inside. There's contact behind Nathan Wade. Santi Spinell is out of the race. He's going to get it turned back in the right direction, though. He's going to drive into the fence, unfortunately. Side by side still here, though. Lee Hughes gets a bit sideways. Now they're 3 wide coming down the short chute. Simon Edwards is going to put it around the outside, and it looks like he's going to gain 2 position. He's going to get clear of Adam Miles. They're actually still 3 wide back here. He gets clear of Miles, but not of Lee Hughes. So Lee Hughes holds on to 2nd. Edwards up into 3rd. Now it's Miles and Von Roberts as Pattinson has to back up, but they were 3 wide down the short chute into Redmond hairpin, then through Hobbs. Miles thankfully comes through back up into 4th as Von Roberts backs out. So they're still nose to tail here. Lee Hughes holds on to 2nd position, but they were all over each other there for a bit. Come into complete lap number 8 here, so it's going to be 6 laps to go of this race here at Okayama. See if anybody is able to do anything, but still now, after that little incident with Sam T. Spinell, 7 cars running in this lead pack as PM Jones loses out a little bit from that, unfortunately. Budgeon and Hobbs has caught up to him, so they're going to be 3 cars racing there for P number 8 as Spinell is now on pit road, and he is dropping out of the top 30, so it's race over for him. Benny Simonsen though still leading the way, got a little bit more of a gap this time to Lees, meaning he will get a little bit more of a run when he catches up to him. And then Simon Edwards is back there. He will want to rebound from last season and get back onto the top step of the podium, both in this race and in the championship. Here comes Lee Hughes now. He's closing in on Simonsen, not as much as I would have expected though. He's not going to be there to make a move, while Nicholas Von Roberts is looking up the outside of Miles, and here they are in the 2nd group as well, Budgeon on the inside here of PM Jones, and here comes Hobbs as well. He's going to get a position as well. PM Jones might have a little bit of damage. Yeah, his front wing is missing following that contact, so he will be dropping back through the order as they're side by side again here. Miles and Vaughan Roberts for 4th and 5th. Miles goes defensive, though he's just able to clear Vaughan Roberts there, and Pattinson is going to come around the outside. It's going to be slight contact, but they're going to be able to keep on going. Wade has to look, but he backs out again. Probably the wiser move there. Does not want to go 3 wide through these hairpins. So Pattinson back up into 5th place, but Vaughan Roberts is not giving up. Nicholas Vaughan Roberts definitely going to be looking here to get back into the top 5 as soon as he can. Meanwhile, at the front, coming to 5 laps to go, they are starting to spread out a little bit, and that battling for Miles, Pattinson and Roberts has let these 3 open up a little bit of a gap again. It's not going to be enough, I don't think, to pull away completely, but if they work with each other here for a couple of laps, they might just be able to do enough to hold on to those top 3 positions and then race it out for the final 2 laps. Not too sure that is how it's going to play out though. Coming through the Moss S's once again here, down to Atwood curve, and then back up the hill. Simonson still leading the way. Here comes Lee Hughes though. He's going to throw it up the inside. He's definitely not sitting back working with these guys. He's going to have the inside coming up the hill. I think Simonson will have the overspeed though, having the wider line, but Lee Hughes will have the inside coming to the hairpin unless Simonson is able to clear him. He's got his front wing in line with Simonson's rear wheels. Here he comes. He's going to get the overspeed down the hill. Edwards looks to the outside as well, but he's going to back out of a 3 wide situation. Lee Hughes with the inside. He's gonna be clear though. He is, yes, but he makes a late dive there up the inside. Simonson, he's gonna have to back out of that. Wow, that was a brave move from Simonson. He did not want Lee Hughes to be clear, but he gets clear and he gets back into the lead, or gets into the lead for the first time in this race, I should say. Simonson has a little bit of a peak there, but he backs out. Simon Edwards right on the back of Simonson here as well. And just like that, that half-second gap that they had down to Miles, Pattinson, Robertson, Wade is gone. So there's once again a 7-car train. Nathan Wade has a look up the inside there, but he's going to back out, stay in line. For now, keep it nice and tight. They want to keep up with these guys. Don't want to lose them again, because next time it might be the last time that you lose them and you won't get it back. Here they come now down the straightaway. Lee Hughes will lead his first lap of this race. Simonson behind him in 2nd. See what he can do now when he is not leading this race anymore. Simon Edwards is right there as well. See what he will be able to do. While he wants to go on the offense against Simonson, he still has to be on defense against Miles, who is right on his gearbox as well. A little bit wide there from Benny Simonson, I believe that was. He did put 2 wheels in the gravel, looked like it was him. Meanwhile, Peter Parnell has pulled into the pits as well with some issues, as Simonson has a look on the outside, backs in behind. Lee Hughes once more coming up the hill. Now he's going to look for the crossover to get up the inside, but that inside line seems to be where you want to be. Keeping well defensive here is Lee Hughes. Now here comes Simon Edwards as well. Once more, he's going to make it 3 wide this time. He's going to get there very, very late, but he's going to make it around the outside. 3 wide here. Lee Hughes on the inside, Simonson in the middle, Edwards on the outside. There's going to be a dive behind as well from Pattinson on Miles, but Edwards has to back out there on the outside. He cannot hold the overspeed. Here comes Miles. They're side by side behind. Lee Hughes gets clear. Contact almost there between Edwards and Miles, but I believe they were able to avoid each other. Here comes Pattinson again up the inside of Miles. Miles with a better run though onto the short chute, and here comes Simonson looking up the outside of Lee Hughes once more, but Lee Hughes will hold that position. He's going to cut him right off. Coming into the next hairpin though, these 7 cars, they're all over each other, and Jack Hobbs, Budgeon and PM Jones behind them. They are starting to catch up. They're going to catch them almost a second on this lap, I think, unless they slow this down. I'm not too sure they will be able to catch back up. There's 3-second gap from 7th down to 8th, but the rate they're going side by side this much with the guys behind just working with each other, and still 3 laps to go of the race. Anything can still happen. They're side by side here for 4th. Nicholas Vaughan Roberts behind as well, looking possibly make it 3 wide, but he will stay behind. Does not want to cost him any more speed than necessary. Pattinson gets that position back there up into 4th for Miles. Miles is looking around the outside again, but Pattinson will get clear coming through Williams. Now through the Moss S's once more. What can these guys do to try and catch back up to our leading trio? 3 laps to go here. Lee Hughes leading from Simonson and Simon Edwards. Here comes Simonson around the outside. Lee Hughes with the inside. He's going to get that overlap back, but who will have the overspeed, and what will Simon Edwards do? Simonson should have slight overspeed having the outside line, but now Leus will get the side draft, and here comes Simon Edwards around the outside again. They're going to be 3 wide coming down into hairpin with 2.5 laps to go. Who is it going to be this time? Last on the brakes is Simonsen. Edwards on the outside. How much room is he going to give? He's going to be able to hold it next to Simonsen while Leus is going to get clear. This could be the move for Simon Edwards to get up into second position. They're going to be side by side through Revolver, side by side almost into Piper, but Simon Edwards does not get the run out of Revolver there, so he has to back out. And all of a sudden Benny Simonsen is able to pull away a little bit of a gap, and that those 4 cars behind, all of a sudden they are right back in this once more. Now Pattinson onto the back of Simon Edwards, see if he will be able to do anything there, if Edwards is able to get back up to the gearbox of Benny Simonsen and get involved in this battle again. He's tried it now twice, being 3 wide on the outside coming into hairpin at the bottom of the hill, but it's just not doable. He was able to stay side by side with Benny Simonsen through the first left-hander, but he just cannot hold the momentum on the inside there, as Simonsen is looking on Leus, but he backs out at the last second. So I'm not too sure that is where you want to do it. He's probably going to have to find a way to get back past Benny Simonsen first, and then make a move on Leus from there, because going 3 wide, especially down to hairpin, is not the way to go by the looks of it. Lap 13 now of 14. Look how defensively Leus goes into every single corner here, giving the outside to Benny Simonsen, almost letting him get up side by side to make sure that he has the outside line and does not get the momentum of being on the inside. They're almost going to use the extra asphalt here coming onto the straightaway to try and get up the inside line. He will move to the outside now, Benny Simonsen. They're side by side behind as well. That's Pattinson on the inside of Edwards. Pattinson is going to throw it up the inside. He's going to make it 3 wide. He will back out though. That was a smart move, because I'm not too sure Benny Simonsen knew that Pattinson was in there. As his contact between Leus and Benny Simonsen, and that's going to get Simonsen back into the lead. Leus still has the overlap on the outside though. Now he will slot in behind, try and get the crossover here, coming onto the short shoot, but I think that 3 wide from Benny Simonsen is what did it. Here we come again. Leus looking up the inside, but he will back out once more. Simonsen late on the brake. He locks up there, 3 wide behind now. Adam Miles is back in there as well. There's contact between Pattinson and Edwards as well for 3rd. Now they're 3 wide for 4th. Adam Miles comes through, and Simon Edwards drops down to 5th position as Nicholas Von Roberts is to back out into 6th. And Edwards hard on the brakes there, almost gets ran over from behind, and all of a sudden Pattinson is up into 4th. Benny Simonsen is back in the lead. It's white flag. It's 1 lap to go, and there is still 7 cars in the running for the win here. Leus looking to the outside. Here comes Ewan Pattinson as well. He will not make it 3 wide though, but Leus sending it around the outside. He's going to get clear. He's going to go a little bit too wide, unfortunately for him. Pattinson almost runs into his rear wheel. Miles has to back out there. They're almost 3 wide where there's no room. Back up the inside again of Benny Simonsen, but Simonsen will be clear once again. Final time here through the Moss S's. Here comes Adam Miles up the inside of Ewan Pattinson. Side by side for 3rd. Here comes Leus. He throws it up the inside. Simonsen is going to have a bit of a lock up. There's some contact, and Miles runs into the back of Leus. That's going to knock his rear wing off. What is that going to do for him now as they come back up the hill? Benny Simonsen leading the way. Pattinson up into 2nd place. Here comes Simon Edwards. No bump drafting in these cars, so he has to move to the left, and to the left of him is Nicholas Von Roberts. Leus is going to lose a ton from that though, not having a rear wing. Back down into hairpin. He will make a late dive though to the inside of Simon Edwards. Back up into 4th place. What will happen up in the front? Benny Simonsen still leading the way here. Ewan Pattinson back in 2nd. They're still side by side for 3rd. Leus around the outside. A little bit more contact there. That will upset his car enough that Simon Edwards will get clear, and contact again there between Leus and Nicholas Von Roberts. And Leus doing everything he can here to get anything back that he lost. But at the front, it's still Benny Simonsen and Ewan Pattinson, and Simon Edwards comes through once more on Leus, and I believe that does it for 3rd place. Now will Ewan Pattinson be able to do anything to Benny Simonsen, or will he hold it? Through the final corner they come. Benny Simonsen onto the curb, back onto the track, and he will win the season opener here at Okayama ahead of Ewan Pattinson. Behind them, Simon Edwards is able to hold off Leus, but what a race we had there on the final lap. Contact back and forth. Leus gets his rear wing knocked off, and wow, 7 cars in the running for the win at the end there. And wow, what a race. The top 5 separated by just under 2 seconds there. And here comes Matt Whiteridge as well, coming home in 21st, just behind Seth Brown. We had a bunch of battles further back, but we just could not let that lead pack go. Oh, as we have a sideways moment there coming across the line for George Matwick. He is going to lose out to Mark Biondek and Alan Patterson for 27th and 28th, dropping down to 29th. Here they come for 30th as well. Phil McDougall leading the way ahead of Edward Lack, and Mud Kiko making a late dive to the inside, but that will not be enough. So Mud Kiko in 32nd, and then Chris Hansen, and then Andrew S. Leach is the final car to finish the race. Everybody that brings it home here tonight finishing on the lead lap, actually. That's quite impressive. But that final lap for those front 7 cars, they were all over each other, and I had no idea where to look to see what was going on. But this season opener, I hope it shows what the rest of the season will be. At the end, though, Benny Simonson comes home with the win. A mere 0.2 of a second ahead of Ewan Pattinson, with Simon Edwards ending up over a second and a half behind in 3rd. Leah Hughes holds that rear wing missing car on the track to bring it home in 4th, and then Nicholas Von Roberts in 5th position. Nathan Wade in 6th, Adam Miles drops all the way down to 7th following that contact. Kevin Budgeon in 8th, Jack Hobbs in 9th, and Anthony PM Jones rounds out your top 10. Stephen Nobes in 11th, Dave Kirkman in 12th, Tony Stack in 13th, Mark Langford in 14th, Daniel Tufts 15th, Clark Williams in 16th, John Edwards in 17th, Dave Dowson in P18, Christopher Miles in 20th, and then Seth Brown winning the battle for P number 20. And then it's Matt Whiteridge, Andrew Bernowski, Aaron D. Taylor, Mark Vandalen, Neil Andrews, Tim Adcock, Alan Patterson, George Mattock, Mark Biondek, Phil McDougall, and Edward Lack, Mud Kiko, Simon Maltby, Chris Hansen, and Andrew S. Leach rounding out everybody that finished on the lead lap. And Leah Hughes had the final lap, fastest lap of the race, I should say, on lap number 9, while these guys were going at it the hardest. And it's a shame that he had that contact at the bottom of the hill there on the final lap. I would have liked to see them go 3 or possibly even 4 wide coming down into hairpin there on the final lap. That would have been spectacular. He did not give up though. He made a late dive. Here we see it again. He makes a move up the inside. Miles runs into the back of him, knocks the rear wing off, and well, he knew he had to be up the inside of Pattinson to have the best possible chance, and that was the only way to do it. And then he just doesn't have the momentum coming up the hill. These cars aren't that aero dependent, so you don't really need the rear wing. It's more that he was sideways at the bottom of the hill that cost him speed all the way up there, and unfortunately that just cost him too much speed. Still, just as I say that, we have our first interview victim of the season. Andrew Baranowski started P16, came home in 22nd following some scrapping there. Talk us through your race, Andrew.
Hi guys, yeah, not a great start to the season, is it? Maybe a drop week on the first week, but yeah, I started okay and had an unfortunate little incident. I think Daniel Tufts caught the back wheel of my car and just ended up with a meatball and had to dive into the pits that next lap and work my way through. Not what I wanted from Okayama. It's a really great fun track, but that's the way it goes sometimes. And I did enjoy, making my way through, as you say, all of the battles in the field.
It's I saw you in the pits there earlier and didn't really know what happened, but then we know a little bit of a meatball flag, and there's not really anything you can do about that, but still a great recovery from you. So since this being the first race of the season, me looking at the calendar, I saw that it's quite a lot of fast tracks this season. What's your hopes and expectations when you saw the calendar the first time?
I'll be honest, I couldn't tell you a lot of the tracks on the calendar this season, but I remember looking at it and thinking, yeah, I've got to just sort of carry on where I left off, and I really wanted to try and just sort of hit the edge of that top 5 maybe, or somewhere around there at the end of the season. Did that almost last season, just with some reasonably consistent finishes. So hopefully, maybe starting next week, I can begin to replicate that.
Well, hopefully we'll be looking forward to seeing you a bit further up the field. Anybody you want to send a shout out to before we'll let you go?
Yeah, shout out to maybe my internet provider for that dodgy piece of collision netcode, and Daniel Tufts, and Seth and Adam Miles as always, and all of the Monday Night Skippy crew.
Thank you, Andrew. See you again next week. Next up, George Matek, you did probably not have the race you expected either. Started all the way up in 6th, and then an early incident sent you into the pits and you recovered back up to P28. Talk us through what happened there, George.
Hey guys, how are you? Yeah, I'm guessing you may or may not have seen the smoke pouring from my car, but yeah, I have never had my engine blow up in the Skippys. It happened once in practice, and I think I shifted down a tiny tad too early. And here I was doing the same thing that I've been doing all week, and unfortunately, whilst I was like 6th, 7th or something like that, the engine just explodes. So yeah, not ideal, but a positive. I had excellent pace, and if I got dive bombed by someone, and if that hadn't happened, I probably would have been a couple places higher. I know there was some action the last few laps, but pace was really good. So yeah, just a shame my engine decided to blow up.
I remember we had that about a year and a half ago, about 5 to 10 engines blowing up every single race, but we haven't seen that in quite a while, so I was a bit surprised. Thought you might have had an incident, but I guess on a track like this it just gets a bit too sensitive on the shifting. So I'll ask you too, have you had a look on the schedule for this season so far, and what's your expectations and your first thought when you saw the schedule?
Yes, it's going to be an interesting season. We've got, I think I've driven 7 out of the 12 races, 12 circuits. So some good tracks. You missed a cracking week 13 race last week. That was fantastic. But yeah, it was very hectic schedule. So got to learn some new tracks, but some tracks that we did last year as well. So that'll be good. But yeah, obviously there's still the shenanigans with the damage model that have happened since the update. I had no doubt that that's had an impact on my engine dying, but it happened twice in the space of half an hour, so not really sure what's happening there, but yeah, we'll see.
Anybody you want to send a shout out to before we let you go?
Of course, shout out to you guys for the broadcast. Shout out to Alan for hosting the league and sorting out the shenanigans with the issues that has been happening the last few weeks, and shout out to Sebastian Joe. It's his birthday today, and he did the week 13 race last week, and of course he won. 6 years out of Skip Barber, just jumps in and wins, so happy birthday, sir.
Well, happy birthday to him then from all of us here at RaceSpotTV. Thank you for joining us, and hope to see you back at the top next week, hopefully with a bit better luck then. Next up we have race winner Benny Simonson. Benny, that looked like a very, very hectic race for you, but in the end you managed to hold on and start off the season the best way possible, pole position and a win. How does that feel?
Yeah, that was a really, really fun race. Probably one of the most funniest Monday night Skippy races I've been part of. So that was some good side by side action for like 4 or 5 laps. So yeah, brilliant race.
Yeah, that inside line looked like it was the place to be, coming over the hill down to hairpin. Just how important was it? And if you ended up on the outside, how hard was it to hold on to the position and retain the lead, so to speak, through the left-handers if you were on the inside through them?
I think it's not so much holding the lead, because I think this race can be won from first or second. It's a 50-50 in my opinion on the last lap. The problem is if you don't hold the inside line, if you're leading with a free car pack or more, the car in third will then obviously be able to take the inside line if you stay to the left instead, and then you get pushed down to third, which is a lot harder to work your way out of the draft from third or fourth. So it's mainly just to hold the inside line to stay in either first or second. I think tactic was just not to drop to third.
Well, we saw one move being made there for 3 wide, but unfortunately that didn't work. I can't remember who that was now, but anyway, a great race for you. So I'll ask you too, seeing the calendar for the first time when it popped up, seeing all these fast tracks, what's your hopes and expectations and thoughts about the upcoming season?
Just have some good races and have some fun. It's why we race these cars. It's for the battles. If you wanna, I think drive races where it's just going for the win and not battles. Probably drive some GT cars or something where the draft is not big. The reason driving these is because we love going side by side and having some fun. So yeah, as long as we have some good action with not too much contact, it should be a good season.
Great, we appreciate that. So anybody you want to send a shout out to before we let you go?
Of course, you guys as always for putting on the show, and Ellen for doing the league. So yeah, cheers.
Thank you for that. People piling in here for the interview. So our next person, Nathan Wade, started P9, came home P6 after a race-long battle there with the likes of Nicholas, Von Roberts and others. Talk us through your race, Nathan.
Hi guys. Yeah, I had a really good race actually. I managed to just stay on the back of the front pack and just kind of let them tow me along. I've been happy with my pace all week, although the official races have been quite a fun ride due to the new damage model. So I was glad we didn't have that for this race today because it's pretty tragic at the minute in the Skippys. But my race was nice and simple, apart from a couple of moments where I was quite worried I was going to take Nick out due to a couple incidents in front. He slowed down on the brakes and I had to slam on the brakes, I think second to last corner at one point. Not sure why, but I was very, very close to hitting him. But other than that, it's a pretty clean race, to be honest.
Yeah, it looked like you had a massive scrap there all the way through the race. Glad to see you all come out in one piece though. But it did not look like you were going to get tops or P6 there until they started scrapping there at the end. But talk to you as well about that, being at the back of a big pack and seeing the leaders pull away. How stressing is that, knowing that they're pulling away and your chance at a win might just be slipping out of your hand? Do you just focus on your position, or do you try to work together to get back up to the leaders?
I'll be honest, at the minute I know my pace is nowhere near as quick as the guys at front, but as long as I can stay in their kind of pack, because they battle, you can stay with them. And at the minute, my kind of game plan is kind of sit and wait for incidents, to be honest. Wait for the incidents to happen, and then you can kind of take their position, if that makes sense. Because I'm not quick enough to battle the guys in front. But, like I said, I'm really happy with my pace this week, and it is coming along nicely, if that makes sense. So I feel that I am getting quicker, and soon I will be able to start making moves myself rather than relying on other people's incidents, if that makes sense.
Absolutely does, and it makes sounds like a very good plan. Glad to see you gaining pace and hope to see you battling for wins here before too long. So anybody you want to send a shout out to before we let you go?
Just you guys for running the broadcast, and obviously Alan for running the league. I absolutely love this league now. It's really, really fun. Good racing every week, so I'm looking forward to this season. Other than that, cheers for having me, guys.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, and hope to see you as well again next week. Our final victim will be Simon Edwards. Another great battle for you up at the front all race long, moving between first and fifth, or maybe even sixth at one point. So congratulations on making it home in one piece, Simon. Talk us through your race.
I think I only briefly made it into first in a 3 wide down the back straight. I don't think I got a first at any real point. No, that was good fun. I haven't raced all week in the Skippy at all, so I was having to use practice to get myself back up to speed. And I don't really like this track, so that's why I haven't been racing. But that was a good fun race, wasn't it? I hope it looked good as it was looking from my point of view, from the broadcast point of view.
Yeah, it's spectacular. 3-4 wide all, or 2 and 3 wide all the time, and people battling for position.
Yeah.
Not the usual where you just sit and try to get away for 10 laps and then race for the last 2-3 laps.
No, I think there was a reason for that though, because you can sort of defend here. So they were being good at first, and then I was thinking the guys at the front, Clear and well, initially Adam and Benny, and then Clear and Benny, were thinking I better get in front. I think I would have thought the same as well, because you're thinking the guy in third's going to make a gap, so the guy in first gets away. So I think that's why that dynamic was happening all the way through the race. But on myself, I was trying to make it forward. I could only get up to that third place where you can't get past the barrier of the first two into the hairpin. But I had a go twice. Nearly made it work. But I picked up damage in another 3 wide with Ewan just clipping my rear wheel on the second to last lap there. So I was struggling with the crabbing car in the last lap. So I was lucky to finish for the third, really. It's a bit sorry for Adam as well. He did nothing wrong, and he got knocked off the road.
Yeah, a bit of a stack up there at the end, but of course everybody appreciates all of you racing 100% the whole way through. It makes it a little bit more exciting, even though it's already super exciting. Anybody you want to send a shout out to before we let you go?
I think I'll just send a shout out to everybody who was in the front of that race. I know there was a few contacts there, but there was definitely nothing malicious there. It was just nudging and accidental touches. So thanks for the great race, everybody, and of course to my sponsor Masternaut as well. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Simon Edwards, and that just about wraps up I think the longest post-race interview segment that we've had in quite a while. Appreciate all of you showing up to let us talk to you, and I believe all our viewers appreciate that as well, to hear from the drivers and their point of views in everything that goes on. Next week then we head to America and Road Atlanta for the full layout and the second round of the championship, and then straight back to Japan. So that is definitely going to be another one of these draft races, and one that I'm certainly looking forward to, and you will not want to miss that. Here today though, reigning champion Benny Simonsen comes home with the victory ahead of Ewan Pattinson, with Simon Edwards in third. You've been watching the UK&I Monday Night Skippys live here on RaceSpotTV in support of the Calm Zone. My name is Linus Broström. On the cameras we've had our tremendous Hugo Luis. See you again next time, same place here on RaceSpotTV. Until then, take care everybody, stay safe, goodbye.